Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. I see we have a lot of people on here.
Wow.
Fantastic. Let's see, Peter Davis. There's Alyssa. There's Jerome. All right. We got a good crew here tonight. So welcome everybody to the Thursday, January 13, 2022 Town Council meeting. All agendas are subject to change to and until the time of the meeting. This meeting of Town Council will proceed virtually as permitted under the Maryland Open Meetings Act. I'm sure you're tired of hearing that from me every week, but I'm going to say it, keep saying it. We get a great turnout. So we're going to open up though first with the public hearing. A public hearing on Chapter 3 of the North Beach zoning ordinance is what we have presented tonight for the public to discuss. If they have any comments, we do have Planning Commission members here tonight. If somebody has any type of questions that we can't answer, or Rick, is Rick here? Nope. All right.
I don't see him.
All right. So I'm going to open up the public hearing. It is now open for public comment. Stacy, everything's been uploaded. It's in there. So I don't know if maybe Jerome would like to say something. Maybe unmute Jerome, Paul. He's in Jan's spot all the way to the right. For us old people, we get that. Oh, there's Jennifer. All right.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, good evening to everyone. This was we did some kind of I'd say small adjustments to this section because the original impetus for this was when there was a kind of a gap. We had someone coming in wanted to open a business, a brewery, a brew pub, or a tap room, you might say, in town, and we really didn't have anything to address that. Not for kind of the brewing part of alcohol. It's kind of a light industrial kind of use that wasn't really addressed, and there was really no guidance that we had for this. And so we realized we had to make a few changes to this to address that issue and discuss it. And really outside of that, and excuse me for some of this, I've been trying to get up to speed, but man, we worked on this primarily in the spring and summer. So, so
All good.
I've been going over this since yesterday, trying to remember everything that we did. That was the main reason we worked on this. There were some smaller things that we made adjustments to that we thought we could address. I would say there's not a lot of big things that have actually gone on in this. The biggest one would be the addition of the brew pub microbrew activity under commercial, food truck, food trailer designation under commercial. Those would probably be the biggest things that people might see. Stacy, is there anything else you think that was kind of significant from this? I mean, there's some smaller things, but I don't want to get into every line kind of thing right now.
No, you hit the nail on the head exactly what you stated as to why this chapter started the review process.
Yeah, we tweaked a few things. You know, we took out motor vehicle sales. I think we took out marine sales, a few other weird things that were in there. But for the most part, it was addressing the brew pub and the food truck trailer section.
Cool. No, thank you. And then obviously, if public has any comment, they can put it in the chat box, raise their hand.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is that once we close this out, an ordinance for Chapter 3 from the North Beach zoning ordinance will be prepared and placed on the February 22nd or 2022 agenda for introduction. The ordinance will then be placed on the March 2022 agenda for passage. So this is the first step. So Steve's getting on board just in the beginning, so I'm glad he said yes. This is Chapter 3. They've worked hard on this. It took a long time, but it was needed. And I'm very proud of the hard work that the Planning Commission did with Rick and every council. So if we don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Don't see any.
And we
obviously-
did not, they were allowed beforehand, right? So I'm assuming
Yes.
we didn't get any emails or anything.
I got it. Yeah, anyone
It's-
could have-
All right, hold on. Steve has a question. He lives in Baywalk.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so real quick, there was one slight thing that I found in here. I guess if in the table a use is not permitted, then it, or is not listed, then it's not permitted, correct? But over in the 3.3 conditions and standards under L, there's a listing for conditional use of massage therapy. So I thought maybe that either should be in the matrix or perhaps permitted under the health, personal services of wellness or health. I don't know if you.
Okay,
noticed
good.
that.
Thanks. That's a good catch. And maybe Stacy can help spur my memory because I do remember discussing this at some point, and I'm wondering if it fell under something else. It is it's under commercial. Massage therapy is under commercial. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I have a couple versions of this up. I was trying to improve my memory of the processes that went forward on this.
Give me a second, let me pull it up.
I'm looking at an old version where massage therapy was a conditional use.
It was in the existing.
Yeah, CM W1 and W2. So
So-
I'm wondering if it got absorbed maybe by personal services, health.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, this is Councilmember Lawton. I worked with Rick on that. We ended up with 3 categories of personal services, and massage is actually a therapy, designated as a therapy in the wellness world, so it was absorbed under that one, whichever the one that says therapy.
Yeah, and they're conditional. I don't have the conditions in front of me, but I'm sure they're about licensing in the state and all of those things.
Yes,
So that's
yes,
usually what
that-
the conditions are.
Absolutely, that was why we broke out the categories, because some licensing is a lot more stringent than others, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. All right, we do have a typed in question. Several of us questioned the number of rental properties and additionally the number of vacation rentals. Was that not something that should have been addressed in this?
I'm sorry, one more time. Can you say that the number of?
Several so it says the number of rental properties in addition to the number of vacation rentals was that not something that should have been addressed in this chapter? Where's Rick? Rick's not on here, is he?
I might defer to Stacy and others who have more direct exposure to the public on that issue. I can say, at least from planning commission's point of view, we have not had that sentiment come before us. So
One of you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've had that discussion with Melissa, right, Nikki?
Yes, we did. We had that discussion with her, and we also looked at the saturation of vacation rentals to see if there was currently anything that would be concerning. And right now, there is nowhere where there's more than one within a block. So we didn't feel that we needed to go further into figuring out that. And then we were looking at one of the stresses of vacation rentals being parking, which is addressed in a later chapter. So we're going to deal with that aspect of vacation rentals in a later chapter, I believe.
and we did have maybe a procedural change when I remember about having rentals are a special exception, right? So they do have, is that correct? That they do have to have input from neighbors on that, and parking is one of the issues.
Vacation rentals are a special exception and the neighbors adjoining that property are notified.
That's right. Yeah, so there is some review. It used to be nothing as far as I remember. And so at least there is some community engagement and review on the process.
I think the question is more about the number of rentals and the number of vacation rentals
Yeah.
is a concern. So I don't think that was a part of chapter 3. I think this is the rules about the vacation or how you do it. But when it comes to what I think what they're getting at is that they want to maybe reduce the number. I mean, I'm guessing that's what they're getting at.
Yeah.
That would be a whole nother conversation with the attorney of restricting, people from being able to use their property for what they want to use it for. So Alyssa, you can chime in.
Yeah, I had sent some communications to council back in November about the subject, and then it didn't go any farther. I think you have to be very careful with respect to people's property rights. And I'm not sure how you can accomplish it without impacting people who are already using their properties for that purpose. I would prefer to address the specifics about the legalities of particular proposals that you might be inclined to consider in the context of attorney-client privilege.
And real quick, everybody that's on here, Alyssa is our town attorney. So this question, obviously, is something that we can continue with the planning commission. We can get Alyssa involved when it comes to the number. We were always under the impression that that's a slippery slope to try to tell somebody what they can or cannot do with their property when it comes to the proper zoning. If it's residential, then who can rent and who cannot rent. So I think it's a much deeper conversation than what we have on here tonight, but it's worth a conversation soon with the planning commission as they continue to embark on their next mission. And that's the next couple chapters. And I think there is a chapter where this can also be addressed again. So we're not kicking it down the road, but we're not going to be able to do that tonight.
Yeah, and just a brief point also, the state requires that we have a comprehensive plan, and we are coming up on the due date for that. And part of that comprehensive plan would address issues like this, because I think this fits into larger issues about the kind of nature of the town, the amount of business you have in the town, the amount of rentals you have in the town, and that's part of a larger picture, which will have to be addressed on a very engaged basis with citizens over the next year and a half. So and I'm sure that would naturally come up as a point of discussion.
Absolutely. I think it fits perfect with the comp plan discussion.
Yeah.
So as y'all heard, everybody heard on here and recording, we're going to be moving into that. Jerome is the chair of the planning commission. We do have a new member coming on tonight, but stay tuned. And that question can be definitely brought up when we start talking about the comp plan.
Yeah, generally there's a long community engagement process that precedes the comprehensive plan submission. So it allows for a lot of community engagement, and I'm sure this will be something people want to chew on a bit.
Right. Lauren, you had something?
Yeah, well, there's just a comment in the chat about the commenter said a letter was sent about a year ago. So who would have that letter? Does the planning commission have it? I mean, that will help us understand what the concern is. We don't really understand what it is from this comment.
The concern is too many rentals, both long-term and too many rentals, vacation rentals. That's the concern.
Okay, so do we have this letter?
No,
We do.
but
Okay.
when I said that, she said yes.
Okay.
And so I'm almost guaranteeing that's the concern.
Okay.
But I don't have that. I mean, we could look and see, maybe get the letter resent, but that is the concern. We're a heavily populated area with rentals. I believe we're up to 52.
I just think it'll help Alyssa focus her review and research if we were to just had the letter available.
Sure, absolutely. We'll see if we can get
Okay.
Denise.
Okay, I was sent to Rick. So
All right, we'll
that's
definitely
helpful.
see if we could track it down and find it and get it to Alyssa, and stay tuned for the comp plan. Anything else as we move on? All right, so with what's that? All right, with nothing else being said, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing and move into our council meeting. So let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would love, well, who can I get? Everybody's, I get, who can I get? Mickey, you're sitting there unmuted, so you get to start.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Roll call, Stacy.
Mayor Benton,
Here.
Mr. Dotson,
Here.
Cavler,
Here.
Salton,
Here,
Hummel,
Here.
Bertrand,
Here.
perfect.
Thank you so much. Let's move right in. Motion to approve the December 9th, 2021 Town Council meeting minutes as presented. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Mickey, second.
Second.
Paul, any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Cool. All right, thank you so much. 5-0. Now, let's go right into our scheduled appointments. Mr. Wilcox, he's right here. Unmute Mr. Wilcox, please.
Need a motion first, Mayor. Someone has to make a motion.
What's that?
I move to appoint Ken Wilcox to fill a vacancy from Jane Hagan.
We have the motion, a second.
Second.
Second, any discussion?
I just want to thank everybody who came out and interviewed with us. I'm happy we had so many people interested, and I hope that they all stay interested and keep coming.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion? All right, if you agree, raise your hand. All yeses, all right. All right, thank you. No no's. Thank you. All right, Ken, how are you doing, sir?
Yes, I'm doing well. Now that I'm back, and I just have a couple words, just take a couple of minutes, and I just want to say thanks to the mayor and the fellow council members. I want to say I'm honored to come back to the council, and I've served previously on the council for 6 years, and I'm aware of the time, the focus, and the dedication that it takes to serve the town well. On behalf of our neighbors, I'd like to thank all of you for all the work that you do and how you serve and navigate through these trying times on behalf of our community. Those who don't know me, I served in the council between 2010 and 2016, and I resigned in 2016, almost 6 years to the day today, to serve overseas in the State Department as a Foreign Service officer. And myself and my family are returning back here to North Beach for the foreseeable future, and we're very happy to be home. And also before my life as a diplomat, I was family law for about 8 years here in Southern Maryland, and before that, I had worked in the Justice Department before then. And even though I was overseas, I kept up on what was going on, all the issues that are facing town. And when my previous time on council, we had many similar issues. Can't say the same. Nothing's ever the same. Such as when we had the financial situation after the Great Recession. We had created new parks, new museums, with the new town hall, the now older town hall when it opened up, but also always issues about chronic flooding, the stormwater management, and dealing with community policing and events that we had in town. And of course, I'll bring that previous experience forward while I'm here on the council. And I just want to say the town has done an admirable job. I give credit to the staff and everyone of mitigating all the restrictions that were happening with COVID. And all I wish, and I believe we all wish, that 2022 will be a better year. And I'm here to listen. So thank you.
All right, now let me swear you in now.
Okay, how are you going to do this? All right, I just raised my hand.
Hold your right hand, repeat after
Okay, can
me.
you see it? Okay.
I state your name,
I, Kenneth Wilcox,
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
I will bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland. I know there are more words, but I forgot.
That's okay. And support the Constitution and laws thereof.
And support the Constitution and laws thereof.
And I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of North Beach Town Council
and execute the office of North Beach Town Council person
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
According to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Now
Thank you.
stay. Now you have to now do some work.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Ken. I look forward to serving with you again. All right. So the next one, we have 3 appointments today. Well, not really. We have 2 appointments and 1 reappointment. The next one is reappointment of Jennifer Hummel, who is somewhere on here. Right there in the middle. He was over here to the right. Reappointment of Jennifer Hummel to the North Beach Planning Commission. Can I have a motion to reappoint Jennifer Hummel to the North Beach Planning Commission?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand.
I recuse.
I was waiting for that. All right, so we have 5, 4, and 1 recusal, and there's a reason. Look at the last name on top and bottom. So, and thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Jennifer, for agreeing to do it again. You have anything you want to say, or?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to continue to serve. I enjoy it, and I'm happy to serve my town in this manner.
Well, thank you so much. We swore you in before. We're just gonna move on from that. But again, we cannot thank you enough. Your input is greatly appreciated, and you bring so much value to the Planning Commission. We just appreciate that you're willing to do it again. So get ready. We got a lot more work to do. Thank you so much, Jennifer. All right, let's move on to, we have a new appointment for the North Beach Planning Commission. And what I will need is a motion to approve the appointment to the North Beach Planning Commission of Steve Annandale, who is now to the left over here, to the Planning Commission. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just say, Mayor, that he's filling the vacancy from Kurt Betts, who
Excuse me.
resigned from-
Absolutely. He is filling the time remaining for Mr. Betts, who stepped down and he moved out of the town. Yes, thank you. So we have a motion. We have we have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion at all? All right. So all in favor, please raise your hand. Any against? All right, 6 love. Steve, what would you like to pass on to the group before we swear you in?
I just want to say thank you to the mayor and the council for approving me for this important position. I'm very excited to be a part of the Planning Commission. Essentially new to North Beach, but my roots go all the way back to my father was raised in North Beach. And in fact, Mr. Mayor, my great-grandfather was mayor in 1920. So
Oh.
that's how far back they go. But looking forward to working with all the other planning commissioners and commissioners on important topics and doing my best to make a contribution to the town. Thank you.
I've known Steve for some time now, many, many years. And if you look at his resume, he's going to bring a lot of value to the commission. I tell you, got a lot of, we've done a lot of great work, but we got a lot more work ahead. So Steve, let's go and get you sworn in. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Steve Annandale,
Do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Planning Commission member
execute the office of the Planning Commissioner office
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now you go get to work.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
I'll see you around town, I'm sure.
You know that.
All right, you're obviously everybody's got sworn in, is more than welcome to hang out. We are going to mute you. We do have some I hear some stuff in the background, so we got to see what that is. So let's move. Hold on. Let me go here and just catch myself up. All right, we're going to move right into, we do have a guest speaker tonight. Donnie Bone, if you can unmute Donnie, or if he can unmute himself.
I can introduce.
Thank you.
No problem, because Donnie's muted. Where is Tom? Oh, there he is. Hey, Tom. We've never actually met, but we have exchanged a lot of emails. So welcome. I'm glad you can do this presentation. And I'll just give a quick introduction. So Tom lives right next door in Chesapeake Beach, and he recently reached out to me and Donnie to see if we'd be interested in hearing about how he and his organization, Community Resilience, might be able to help the town in our development of grant strategies or grant programs to help secure funds to address our issues with flooding. So tonight, he's just going to provide a quick overview of what his organization does, how he's assisted communities in the past, and then answer any questions we might have. He also is slotted to give a similar presentation to the flood committee next week, following week, 2 weeks from this week, 24th, I think. So folks can sit in on that as well. So Tom, thank you, and it's all yours.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And I gave it my best guess. I called Stacy and she said I had 5 minutes, but I get the feeling I'm down to 3 minutes. So fast and furious. But thanks for having me tonight. And again, my name's Tom Litke. I live locally and I work with a handful of communities and nonprofits in Maryland and DC. I wanted to share some of the ideas that I had that might benefit North Beach. And maybe you can, in a later date, maybe share your thoughts and discuss more funding and program opportunities. Stacy, next slide. So real quick, I don't want to make it too complicated. I work with two types of organizations, Maryland municipalities and nonprofit communities. They typically have relatively smaller budgets and staff, much like North Beach, and they tend to focus on either economic development tools or they focus on environmental resilience. In North Beach, you're kind of doing both. So that was one of the reasons that my organization thought we'd reach out. I've been doing this for, I don't know, 20, 25 years, and it's gone pretty well. I typically manage or administer between $1 and $3 million a year in grants for different programs. I believe many of the programs I'm currently working with would help in North Beach if they were to jump on board. And you all know the repeated issues you've got. I don't need to tell you about your nuisance flooding. I've spoken with Donnie. There's no shortage of ways to address the issue. He had shared with me, you got about 15 projects that you might entertain ranking and chasing for money. So I reached out to the town about that. But next slide, Stacy. I'm going to go fast with this part because you all realize what's out there. FEMA helps kind of after the crisis. Maryland administers supporting grants, and then the counties tend to help with the planning. Obviously, these are all helpful, but you may not know that in the past 20 years, there's been a shift of reliance to the local organizations, which is you. And you might be really happy to hear that your town has more autonomy, but as anyone will tell you, that usually means more risk, more responsibility, and more costs. So with more communities flooding, especially on the Chesapeake, it also means more competition for you for fewer state funds. And that can be kind of tough when you have reduced budgets and staff. In effect, you're being told to do more with less. And as a taxpayer, I get it. But as a practitioner, I don't think it's reasonable. And I think that climate change response is disproportionately growing as part of your budget. And to be candid, I've got two nonprofits involved that agree with me, and they're willing to help out with some of the things that you might need done. Next slide, please. In the short, we kind of lend a hand. I'm not here to be your consultant. I'm not particularly interested in writing your policy. You've already got that under control. It's really about bringing more hands to the implementation phase. You've already been awarded a grant for flood and sea level rise action plan, and I'm willing to bet you're going to get a bunch of recommendations, some that are going to be like 50 years out. That's great, but it's not necessarily as helpful as maybe what's 5 years out. And so maybe we can help you with some of the shorter term things. I'd like to encourage you to capitalize on some of the designations North Beach already has, Sustainable Maryland, and then to pursue other opportunities that I can go into at a later time. One of the other things I tended to notice is that North Beach hasn't necessarily been as successful in funding consistency. You've received a handful of other awards in the past years, the lights for the boardwalk, electric vehicle, playground equipment, but it doesn't seem that you're getting them year after year. And to be honest, that's kind of where I've done pretty well helping groups out, that they keep building on the success one year after another. Next slide, please. And then to do that, some communities pursue what are considered more sustainable funding sources, maybe incorporating a grant manager or a town manager into their staff. Even if it's part-time, that can be subsidized by the Maryland Circuit Rider program. Another option, I'm not sure, and maybe I'm just guessing, but if you've thought about developing what's called the Main Street program, I've probably developed about 12 of them. And North Beach seems to have a lot of volunteers. You have a lot of gardens and growing that's going on over by the waterfront, beautification. But not only that, Main Street's become more important because when the pandemic hit, to get the money out the door quickly, COVID relief went to small businesses through the Main Street programs. They were getting like 3 grants a year, anywhere from 1 to 300,000, as opposed to just 1 grant for a little bit of operation. The final category is a really big whopper, and that's kind of for a bigger conversation, which is the flood and stormwater projects. But suffice to say, you've got a number of options to take there that we can go into more detail when there's more time. Next slide, please. So I'm not here to tell you how to be involved to run North Beach. You already got it going great. I just thought I'd bring up some ideas that I've encountered in my work. And I'm sure you have better ideas, you know, much better than the ones I've got going. And I'm not here to recite my resume, but I thought I'd share a few things that have had success over the years. I've been able for a couple of towns to get them grants 10 years in a row, 12 years in a row. That's kind of a nice way to keep out of your pocketbook and to help through other funding sources. Most of the groups I'm working with agree, and the nonprofits that I work with think it would be a good fit to work with North Beach, and they're subsidizing a good amount of my time. So if you're kind of wondering how I get paid, it's usually through them. I've been given the green light to come here and discuss partnerships, and they're willing to provide the financial support. Next slide, please. So let me wrap it up fast and furious. Here's a couple of the ideas that I thought might help along the way. And then typically the nonprofits that I'm involved with, they ask for pretty simple conditions. They don't want to do projects that end 20 years from now. Yes, certainly we want your community to be a better place, but they want there to be a timeline that's measurable and achievable. The other is that it comes within a mission of, frankly, helping provide community resilience for your area. And then that you'll have an impact. It's not really our role typically to support administrative duties and things like that. So last slide. So give some thought. I'd try to go as quickly as I could. Called upon my New Jersey, upbringing for talking as fast as humanly possible, and then gave thought to whether a collaboration could resonate with you. And something that would probably help me out is if you'd like me to dig around, I can't just call on my own and go fishing. I do have to say I'm helping North Beach or some community along the way. So as a council and as the mayor, you might want to think about, is that something you're comfortable with? Can I speak and dig around? Not signing any contracts. I'm just talking about looking into them with a little bit more depth. So with that, thank you for your time. Hope I kept it under the wire there.
You're perfect.
Okay, wow, that's flattering.
Thanks, Tom. And we can dig a little deeper at the flood meeting on the 24th.
Right. Yeah, I've got a little bit more detail for that meeting, but I did not want to go hog wild. You have so many environmental
We don't want to
opportunities.
hog up all the time.
Nope.
Well, we definitely, I'm sure every council member on here and staff member on here would agree that it's worth the conversation to continue. And I look forward to getting a report back from Lauren about, how it went and where we can go from our next steps. So, Tom, we appreciate you reaching out to us. We appreciate you. Though you live in Chesapeake Beach, we can't help that.
Had I known.
We'll let you back in next week.
Appreciate it.
Michael, sell you a house.
Yes.
Wow, I think the table just got turned on me here. Okay.
Does council have any questions for Tom or DB? Do you have anything you want to add or?
No, I'd just like to, on Tom's question, if the council thinks about that and the mayor thinks about it, then maybe at the flood meeting, we can give him a signal like which way, whether we can, or let me know how we can figure out he can represent the town, if it has to be legally or whatever way we can do to. I think it's a great fit, and I appreciate Tom coming on. He's been at 3 or 4 of the flood committee meetings already and shows a great interest. And me and him did a ride around of the town, and seems like a really smart guy and could help us out in the places that we need help. So I appreciate Tom coming on tonight. Thank you.
All right.
So
Thanks, Tom.
this is Council Member Lawton. I just have a few words to say. Thank you very much. Lauren, when you have that conversation with Tom, I'd like to be in on that conversation. Tom, I recently took over the environmental committee for North Beach back in November. And while we do have some immediate things that we have to take care of in terms of town business, we're definitely looking forward strategically in what we need to do within climate resilience and how it is affecting overall. So this fits completely into what we will be looking at. So I appreciate your presentation. And I look forward to continuing that conversation.
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
I'm glad, it took a lot of preliminary research to frankly reach out and guess that you might need something we're doing. And so it's nice to think that that time was well spent. And I've appreciated Donnie giving me the tour. I didn't even have to bribe him with lunch or happy hour or anything like that. He just did it to help out the town. So
He's getting old.
Slipping a
easier to
little bit.
catch. Okay,
All right, anybody else have
Slipping a
any
little
other
bit.
questions before we move on?
thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom. I'm sure I'll be seeing our.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Soon. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, let's move to public safety report. It's in the package for December. Do we have a deputy on?
I don't see one.
Okay, well, if you have any questions for the deputies, please just hit me up. I'll be more than happy to share it. But right now, I mean, it seems like everything's going well out there. Take a look at the report. If you have any questions about that, we can go from there. Joanne, I see her down there muted. Jay Hunt, our treasurer.
Evening.
Good evening.
How's everyone tonight?
Good, good.
Good. You have September and October's treasurer's reports in front of you. I just want to go over the October one. I can answer any questions on either one. But the October one, you see the ending balance in the cash account is $1,915,000. And the GLP count for general is $2,893,000 and $89,000 for the sewer capital and $43,000 for the water capital. Total cash available to the town is $4,942,000. Of that number is the $1,004,000 we received in ARP monies. Mayor and I have been talking back and forth and putting together a plan for that money. I think, Mayor, you said about the work session
Yes.
in February, meeting
The
with
goal
the
is-
council.
Yep, yep.
And presenting what our thoughts are on how that money should be spent. So that'll be coming soon to come in February. And if you have any questions on either report, you can ask me. And I also like Tom's presentation, and I'm looking forward to that too, because that would be a big relief.
Absolutely. Tom's being loved by everybody right now.
Feel the love, Tom.
Feel the love. Thank you, Joe. Anybody have any questions for Joe? All right. Public Works, DPW has submitted their paperwork. It's in the file. DB, what would you like to pass on? I know you have, we're going to address the storm damage last, so don't worry about that right now.
Okay. Real quick, I have 6 or 7 items on there, but does the council see anything because of the length of meeting they'd like to address? I'd just like to say my crew, we this month actually did training on about everything that Public Works has. We started off by exercising the water valves throughout the system. And I did that so the guys would be familiar in case we had water line breaks with the cold weather coming. Went around, open and closed, checked the valve boxes, cleaned them all out. The guys, spray painted them so they could find out where they were at in case we needed to in the middle of the night or whatever, kind of a training thing. Next, we moved on to sewer manholes. Sewers also, we had some issues this month because of the cold weather. You get grease, kind of clogs a little bit easier. And I wanted them to find out where all the sewer manholes. So we went around, pulled them. We found some that were slow moving, some that were clogged, did some jetting, cleaned out the sewer lines. They got familiar with the jetting machine. And they also got familiar with where the manholes are, the trouble spots and everything like that. So that was a great learning experience. Next, we jumped to storm drain catch basins. We used the leaf vac. We actually cleaned out as many as we could get to. We're about 50% on the sewer manholes, about 50% on the catch basins that we could clean with the leaf vac as far as vacuuming them out. And then along comes, we have a real winter, the snow. So the crew got used to plowing snow in North Beach. The crew I have now had never worked the snow, for the streets and plowing in the town of North Beach. So they got familiar with the snow equipment pretty quick. We did the plowing, did the salting, did that. And the mayor was so generous to allow residents to put out limbs from the storm because it was a wet, heavy snow. We had a lot of tree damage from that storm, a lot of branches coming down, a little bit of power outage here and there. So the crew's been going around this week collecting all the branches, and we got a pretty big brush pile. This spring, we hope to have usable mulch. We're going to grind that up, make some mulch, make some chipping. So that might be what we're thinking about. That might be available in the spring along with our leaf compost. And then didn't mean to take too much time, but the crew's been doing a good job with the COVID going around. I'm real proud of them with 4 guys. It's kind of a losing sleep night thinking about it. If anybody gets COVID, we could lose our whole crew in one night, but we made it through the snowstorm, the first one, the second one. So far, so good. Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't met them all, Seth, Jim, and Chris and DB, obviously, but they get a lot done for a small staff. So we're going to talk about the Northeastern last. We have it on the agenda. But I'm hearing more and more compliments from residents, how quick they did the salting, the cleaning, picking up the branches, and there's still branches out there because we now have people adding new branches that maybe they decided to trim down that didn't come down, but that's okay. We're going to over time get them all picked up. So any questions for DB before we move on? Yes, Ken. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, okay, there we go. All right. I just want to say, DB, I'm glad to be back, and I just have to give compliments to the staff of how you did the cleanup very well for the snow, because I would say in contrast to a certain town that's south of us, they were not as quick and efficient as you and your staff were here of cleaning up the roads real quick. So I just want to give compliments to that. And another question I had, and as you were talking about the wet snow and branches and stuff coming down, are there, as you've been going around, are there trees out there in town that are at a greater risk of coming down now? Because I remember back in the day that we had some really big trees that just during a storm and they just collapsed, and I can't remember hit a couple homes over the years. And I'm just wondering, are there anyone there at risk that if we get hit by another snow, we could see it hit a house?
We haven't, Ken. Welcome back. First of all, welcome back. It's great to see you back. I'm glad you made it over there, and I'm glad you're back on the council again. You were a great member to work with before, and I know you'll be a great member to work with in the future here. But we went around the cypress and cedar type trees. They took the most damage because, of course, they're evergreens and they get the most snow, the most weight. But now that it's melted, like the bigger oaks and all, we don't have any leaning trees, in other words, like leaning over the road, leaning over houses that we've noticed yet. But tomorrow, I've kind of been busy. I can take a ride around and we'll take a look, and then we can do door hanger like recommendations if we see something that we feel is a pretty immediate danger to the residents, to let them know, and maybe get a tree service out, take a look at it, trim it to prevent, because it seems like we're going to have a real winter this year. We've been spared the last 3 or 4 years, but it looks like we might have another one coming this weekend or this Monday coming. So it could be a busy snow season the way it looks.
Thank you.
We do have a tree that Rick is working on Bay that he's addressing, and that's going to be a little leg work on Rick that he's been addressing for a while now with this tree. So we will continue to look as we're driving around, and if anybody else sees something, go to the North Beach Access app and let us know. Shoot a message over to Department of Public Works, over to zoning, whatever we got to do. So if you see something, say something with the app.
One big thing, I know we had this problem with the heavy wet snow, not to take up any more time, but there was a lot of, there was big problems with the telephone and cable lines. The cable lines and the telephone lines are pretty low in North Beach anyway. So I just caution everybody, if they're driving around nighttime, when we get a wet, heavy snow, a lot of those lines were 6, 8 feet, 10 feet off the ground. So just be cautious driving through. They're not power, luckily. Most of them are all either Verizon lines that aren't used anymore, house telephone lines. And unfortunately, Verizon just leaves them hanging. And most people have cell phones, so sometimes they're not even in use. But I ran across a couple that were maybe 6 inches above the top of my cab, and it kind of woke you up pretty quick if you're driving through the middle of the night and see that all of a sudden, but we did have a lot of problem with cable and TV lines. I mean, telephone lines, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, DB. All right, let's marketing and public relations, Dawn.
Hi, welcome back, Ken. So I'll keep it short since Donnie was a little long-winded tonight. First thing, we had the polar bear plunge. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the day of the event, but it was successful. It was we skipped last year because of COVID. We had over 200 plungers. And let's see, I think it was 212 to be exact, if we can be exact. I think a few people sneak in there at the end, but we had 30 paid sponsors, which is good. That was 2 more than we had in 2020. I'm sorry, it was 2020. We did have, that was our last event we had before COVID. So it was pretty successful, even though we had the rain. The second thing I'll mention is, I'm sure everyone will be happy about this, the contract for the audio visual equipment upgrade. Look at Mayor Benton smiling. The contract was signed. The company held a kickoff meeting last week. They've got half of the equipment needed. They're still waiting on other equipment, you know, the supply chain issues that everyone's having. But they're going to keep in touch with us, and we're hoping for a mid-February install. So, and that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
The AV system, the upgrades and all the stuff we're doing is going to allow us, when we are able to get back live, but also professionally provide Zoom so people can stay at home if they need to. But if they want to come, they're more than welcome to come here. So the upgrade was needed, and the supply chain issues are real. We will continue to stay on top of them and update you every chance we get. So thank you, Dawn, as always. And take a look at her attachment. There's a lot of stuff that's been done that we did not go over tonight. All right. Planning and zoning, Rick. I saw him somewhere. There he is. He's muted.
I'm unmuted. I do not believe you guys have anything for me. I was a little under the weather. And so nothing got sent over. I will do the report that should have been sent and send it out to all the council so they have it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Rick is obviously working on chapter 3. Rick is working on permits, and they're working. We got the new rental license stuff that went out that Croto is going to be working on. North Beach Access is Rick. So when he gets it, we'll load it into board docs just so we can keep the uniformity of board docs going. But if you have any questions for Rick before then, obviously he's always available. And it's good to see you. I know you were going through a lot of stuff there, so welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Lisa.
Hello, I'm Lisa Garrett. I'm new to Ken, so everyone's saying welcome back, but I did not work with you in the past, so I'm looking forward to working with you now. I was very interested in Tom's talk tonight. That was very good since I'm the head of community conservation, and I work with the environmental committee and the tree committee. All those would like to look at more green infrastructure in the future for the town. Right now, the exciting news is that I worked with the watershed stewards here in North Beach, and we did put in a grant to the Chesapeake Bay Trust. It has went in. We have not heard back yet if it's approved, but it is for a small stormwater project over Wetlands Overlook Park that will be a demonstration project so that the residents of town can see how they can put in a demonstration, a real rain garden or a real conservation bioswale to help them with flooding waters in their yards. So we're excited about that, and we're hoping that will get approved and move forward in the spring on that. The tree committee has been up and running again. And we had a meeting the other night, and the exciting news about that is that we have an arborist, Mr. Poole, that is on it, and also Sean Mansberger, who was on the call tonight. And they would like to go around and look at our street trees and do a report to me. And we can also give the report to DB, which is Mr. Bowen from Public Works, on any street trees that seem to be in danger of falling or seriously damaged or need an arborist's care. Since Mr. Poole is an arborist, I would think he'd be able to give us some good information on that. And they want to become more involved with keeping an eye on our community and trees, and maybe get the word out sometime this year where how people can have an arborist come out or the state forester come out and give them better advice on how to keep their trees alive and healthy, so that when we have storms like this, we don't lose so many branches. I don't think we can do any help with the cables though, sorry. And I have 2 exciting programs coming up. I'm going to be doing an Eagle Watch, where we're going to be doing low contact, where people are going to be coming in their cars. I'll give them a map. And we're going to go to 3 different locations where there are eagles nesting in town. And we are going to keep track of if we see the eagles nesting, if we can see the eagle babies, and we will report that to the Maryland Bird Conservation Partnership, which is doing a big project on eagles nesting in Maryland. So that's exciting. That will be on January 22nd and February 20th are the dates that we're going to have that. And I also have planned a whole bunch of community conservation special events for the year to try to get the word out about all the different projects and different ways people can get involved with taking care of our environment here in town.
I'm very interested in Charlie looking at these trees, so it should be interesting. Thank
Well,
you so
Sean
much,
will be with
Lisa.
him.
I know. Thank you, Lisa. Any
Thank you.
questions for Lisa? Nope. All right. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Let's move right into the public comment guidelines. The town of North Beach welcomes public comment. Public comments will be taken in the chat box during our Zoom meeting. As you all know, we have had some conversations already about the letter, about the rentals. Please state your name and address prior to your comment. Let me see here. Please enter comment. That was Paul. All right. I saw a little flag. So you can put it in there. We're going to continue to move on as we go through, but if we see something pop up, we'll be more than happy to answer it. But obviously, you're also, North Beach Access is an app that we offer to all residents. So if you have challenges throughout the week, weekend, doesn't matter when, it's an amazing app. It is a great communication tool. Or you can always reach out via email or send leave a voicemail. So I'm going to keep moving, and if something pops up, Paul, just let us know.
Will do.
All right, we're going to move into resolution 22-01, a resolution to establish a committee for promotion of community health and sustainable healthy living. We're going to need a motion to approve resolution 22-01 as submitted. But before we go into that, I'm going to turn this over to Councilwoman Lawton. Oh, there you are. Man, you're moving all over the place.
No, I was having a power crisis and I had to go find a power cord. So that's what happened.
I
So,
see Sangeeta
okay.
on here too. So yes, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can talk about a little bit before I call the vote.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This resolution has actually been about 2 years in the making. We had a no-go in 2020 when we decided to do this resolution. The good news was at that point in time, it was a bit narrow just to active living and healthy eating. And so everything that we've learned since then has given us this wonderful opportunity to create a much broader perspective on what health and sustainable health means for our town. And as luck would have it, we have Sangeeta, I'm going to botch her last name, so I'm going to leave it for her to do that, who is a public health professional on our team now. And she and I worked together to decide what the focus of this particular resolution should be, so that it wouldn't just be a common resolution that dies after 2 or 3 months, but really an intention that we're setting for the town now, and something broad enough so it would stand the test of time. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I'm just going to give it to Sangeeta to say a few words about it, and then back to the mayor to get this voted. So Sangeeta, where are you?
Right beside you.
Yep.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Good evening. You got the
Hi,
floor.
everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having me here, and I'm excited to be talking and working with Councilwoman Lawton on this, I think, really interesting and timely resolution. And so, as Councilwoman Lawton described, I am a public health professional, and so I was really excited to be able to contribute here to work going on in the town of North Beach. And so, as she had mentioned, the intention of the resolution is to keep it evergreen. So, you know, as we know, emerging public health issues do come up, that there's no need to kind of like reinvent what type of work we want to work on. And so we've created, I think, a resolution that will be flexible to the current and future needs of the town of North Beach, and to capture what we think are three very important focal areas, which is sort of the built environment of North Beach that helps facilitate maintaining and getting healthy, working on partnerships with organizations that specialize in community health and various aspects of community health, whether it be mental health or physical health. And also the last is looking at and understanding some of the health disparities that exist in the town of North Beach to make sure we are being inclusive and supporting all residents, whatever their abilities and circumstances may be. So I think we kept it broad, but also we're able to maintain some focus to make sure that as priorities are set, possibly in an annual or biannual basis, that the town is then able to further refine their focus on what types of health programming that they see fit and valuable at that time for the town's residents. And so upon the resolution, we think of the next steps as really establishing and building the committee and looking for members, writing the mission of the committee with broad input of relevant stakeholders, and then also to identify what the current 2022 priorities will be. And they'll, of course, all be done in a very collaborative process, both with community and other council persons and others in the community that will have some vested interests. So I guess I look forward to this committee getting launched and working with all of you in serving the town of North Beach and their community health goals.
Thank you so much. And obviously, Councilwoman Lawton and Sangeetha are the starting force of this, and they're going to be building the committee, and they're going to go through the process. So before I read to get the vote, any other questions for Councilwoman Lawton or Sangeetha before we move forward? All right. So I'm going to read the first paragraph for the resolution. A resolution for the town of North Beach to take action, resolution number 22-01. A resolution for the town of North Beach to take action to achieve its greatest community health potential and promote sustainable, healthy living for all its resident families. So we need a motion to approve this resolution. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Fantastic. 6-0, none opposed. Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank
Councilwoman
you.
Lawton, get ready. You got more work on your plate.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Sangeetha, for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, all right. Let's go into business items. Election of Vice President of Council. What council member would like to lead off and lead this charge?
I nominate Councilmember Lawton for the position of Council Vice President.
We have a nomination of Councilwoman Lawton.
Second.
Councilmember Dotson, second. Is there any other nominations? Any discussion?
Elizabeth, are you game?
I'm game. You know
All
it.
right.
Afterburners are on, turn them on right now.
So we have Councilmember Troncone, Councilmember Dotson. Any discussion? No. All in favor, please raise your hand. Congratulations, I guess. No, I'm teasing, just teasing. We'll get together next
Thank you.
week. We'll get together next week.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, all seriousness. And Paul, you're fired.
Thank you.
All right.
He was waiting to say that. I'll leave.
I know he was. I know he was. He sends a rocket in outer space. He thinks he's special, whatever. All right, let's do a quick update on the October nor'eastern storm. So a lot of stuff has already been done. The seawall. We fixed the boat slips. The cleanup obviously was massive. That was knocked out quick. Now I'm proud to say two things happened today, and then DB is going to step in. Two things. A, the rocks have finally shown up. They have finally arrived. They've been on back order. They've been on a ship out in the Chesapeake Bay. I don't know where they were, but they have finally made it here. And after talking to 422 crews and suppliers, the crews are ready. They showed up a little bit today, but they will be back tomorrow morning, starting to rock to knock out the railing first. The lights are fixed, the railing, and then we're going to handle the flower boxes after that, because that's a different crew. But DB, please take over and tell everybody the good news.
Yeah, as the mayor said, we had to order the marine grade treated lumber, and that was if anybody's been to the grocery store or any supply place or anything recently, it's like a nightmare. But we did order marine grade for the boat slips decking, and it took about 3.5, 4 weeks to get that in. The contractors, we spoke to several. They were busy at the time, so Public Works just went ahead and did that work in-house. We replaced all the boards that were in bad shape, replaced all the boat slips, got that taken care of, cleaned up the debris. We were tempted to start on the railing ourselves. Crews we had contracted with and came out and got estimates from, they got hit with the storm because they were also responsible for snow removal and had contracts already in place in September at other towns, but they did come down. They got started today. Hopefully a week or so time, they'll knock out the railing. Next, we're going to get the flower beds. We did work with K&H Electric. We fixed a couple junction boxes. We fixed a couple junction boxes, and we repaired all the lights along the boardwalk for safety reasons, to give the residents who live down there safety, getting to their houses, because even though the boardwalk's closed, we still have some residents that live in that area and they have to go that way to get to their homes. They don't have another alternative way. One section was totally wiped out from the end of the boardwalk over to the finger pier at 7th Street. And that'll have to be replaced totally when weather permits. And we do have to straighten up some of the posts that the light are on. We looked at several different options. We didn't really hear a favorable, from Legit, the insurance company, about covering a lot of stuff. And we frankly got tired of waiting around. So we went ahead and started getting stuff done. As the mayor said, the guy who was going to do the flower beds, the work on the flower beds, actually got called out. He's been working 7 days a week for the county, but he did donate the rocks. We waited so long, kind of made him felt bad today. So he donated about $500 worth of the river rock to us, so we can at least get that back in their flower bed and get them looking good. He brought them down, dropped them off. We'll put them in place tomorrow. Public Works is going to place them. So hopefully a couple of weeks, as the weather cooperates, we'll be able to open back up and look somewhat normal down there. Does anybody have any questions about anything?
Crazy times, folks. It's crazy times, but
some of it was insurance waiting, and we thought it'd be favorable, and we did wait for FEMA, but we have to get it done now. So,
and
what's the estimated cost?
Right now, the boardwalk, the railing repair was only because we went with, we found out we weren't get insurance money really, and we had a $25,000 deductible to meet. The railing part's $7,000. We purchased the lumber for the lower deck for right around $1,000, and Public Works did the labor on that. We're gonna probably repair what's necessary in the flower bed area, and I'm hoping that will be under $10,000 for that repair. I don't see it being over that. And like I say, we got the rocks donated. K&H came in and helped us with the electric. That was around $2,000 to get the lights back on. And we, put some new bulbs and fixed the fixtures that were on the poles. So we would probably be right around the deductible anyway, with what we did so far.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep, so we sent out a blast today to let the residents know that they're gonna see workers down there. Weather pending, but now they're calling for more snow, but the contractor heard from me very clearly today. They will stay on it. So we're close. So in a couple of weeks, we'll forget about the nor'eastern, but everything will be tightened up there. And so just stay tuned. You have any questions, reach out to DB. Any questions before we move on? All right, thank you so much. Thanks for your patience. All right, let's move into mayor reports. I'm going to pass my time on. I just want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank the hard work from council. We finished up our 3 years, and I'm going to tell you right now, it is a 36 months of love and passion from everybody on here tonight, because it's been an interesting 3 years. So I can't thank y'all enough for your dedication to the town. It's been interesting. I'm hoping the next couple months we can slowly get back to what we call normal. So let's go right to council reports. I'm going to start with the top right. Lauren.
Oh, okay. All right. So I mentioned this last month, but I'm just going to provide a quick update on the status of our work on the 2 flood-related grant applications we're working on. One's administered by the Maryland Department of the Environment, the other by the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. One's due the end of January, the other one's due in early February. So we pulled together a team. Joe, Donnie, Dave Damalugi, the mayor, and I are working together on these. We're on track to finalize the applications by the due dates. We're all taking the lead on different pieces of the application to get it done, because we do all have other jobs. But so it's a necessary kind of divide and conquer approach. So the grants, if we get them, will be used to fund the following projects: enhancing and bolstering the rock revetment along Atlantic Avenue and along the portion of the boardwalk that suffered damage during the October nor'easter. Suffered damage in the past too, so that needs to be actually, bolstered. Adding a pump station to 7th Street. There's not one there now. Upgrading and increasing the capacity and functionality of the 9th Street pump station. Supporting green infrastructure, including rain gardens throughout the town. And then enhancing and bolstering the town's existing beach and berm systems to better withstand these types of, these more frequent and more severe storms. So that's our plan. It's good stuff if it pans out. Who knows if it will? If not, Tom, we'll be looking at you. But anyway, stay tuned. Report back again. I think we hear in the spring sometime. April, May, I can't remember exactly. Joe, you might.
It's a lot of work, and Joe's on here now, and I can't thank Lauren enough because of her skill set, Joe's skill set. And so stay tuned. I think we're going to have wonderful news coming up. I think these guys are going to rock it out. When she says I'm involved, I am, but I can tell you the brains are.
He's organized. You're organizing us.
That's right. I'm organizing it. That's it.
Yeah.
Though.
The organizer.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to go right below Lauren. Greg, Councilman Dotson.
Hello, everyone. Ken, congratulations. Welcome back. Just for you all that don't know, I'm on the legislative committee. Jane and I served together on that. So yesterday we had our first meeting, and we went through quite a few bills. I will get to you next week a list of some of the bills that we're looking at right now. Quite a few of them that we're not going to have any position on. They really don't have any effect on the municipalities in the state of Maryland, but there are a few that are of interest to us. So I will get that out to you all next week. Other than that, Happy New Year, and everyone continue to be safe.
Thank you so much, Greg. All right, I'm gonna come over. Elizabeth.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for coming out. I think it was a really great turnout tonight. I had to slide my screen over 3 times. That hasn't happened in a while, so we had a really good turnout. Yes, congratulations, Ken. Welcome coming back, and looking forward to working with you on the charter, whatever we look at there. In addition to anything else that I talked about this evening, there's 2 other things with the Environmental Committee, we are going to be engaging a campaign on recycling to re-educate and kind of show everybody the impact of not recycling properly. It's dollars and cents out of our pockets, people, and we really have to look at that carefully. And then the other thing that need to mention is on Arbor Day, we're actually going to be planting a tree at the senior center to honor Jane Hagan. We did, Council Member Hagan, we did a lot of work talking to the county and everybody trying to figure out exactly what to do and where to put it. And we've got that all figured out now. All the players are in line. So it's just up to Lisa to plan the party. So that's what I have for this evening. Welcome 2022. It's going to be a fun one.
Thank you so much. Mickey.
I want to thank everybody for coming out, joining us, and sticking with us till the end. Ken, welcome back. Good to have you back with us. Uniquely enough, it's full circle. Jane replaced you when you had to leave us, and now you're replacing Jane. Entertaining as that is. Me and Mike were plungers this year, which was fun. Hopefully this coming year we'll have a few more with us. Ken, Paul, looking at you guys. I'm happy with the turnout we had. It was a fun event. The fog was unique. I don't think we've ever had fog when we've done it. Besides that, everybody stay safe and see you next time.
Thank you, Mickey. Ken is muted. Not sure what's going on there. This is starting off great, Ken. We're going to skip them. No, I'm teasing. He said he wanted to thank everyone for being here tonight. And he guarantees he will do the polar plunge next year. I'm pretty sure that's what he
we
said.
can't hear you, Ken.
All right, let me go to Paul real quick and maybe Ken can figure out.
So thank you everyone for coming out. Yeah, and I think I will be doing the plunge next year because my 5-year-old daughter called me out on it and said that I had to do it. So and she said she's going to do it even I don't.
She said it to me. She said it directly to me. So I heard
the
her.
gauntlet is down. No, but also here's this. Ken, thank you. Steve and Jennifer, thank you for your continued work and support for the town and continuing to look forward to working with you.
All right, we'll give Ken one more chance.
All right, let's see.
If not, you might have to write it on a piece of paper. While he's trying to figure this out, remember the polar plunge too. The proceeds go to the Ladies of Charity. That's that yellow hat back there or someplace right there. And they were volunteers there. They were selling goods there. They also are the ones that helped us put up all the garland along the boardwalk. They are an absolutely amazing organization. And the funds couldn't go to a better organization. They're local. They're right here on what is that? Is it Dayton? No, yeah, Erie. Excuse me. Yes. I drew a blank there, but they're amazing. So Ken, are you? All right. Well, Ken, we hate to do this to you, buddy, but we'll get you next month. His State Department turned his phone off. All right. Well, sorry, Ken. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
So move.
Second.
Do I have a second? All right. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Ken's kind of raising his hand. We got enough votes. Yeah, there you go. All right. Nothing against. Thank you so much. God bless you all and have a great night. Stay warm. Check out your neighbors. Next week is supposed to be crazy weather. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.